I managed to avoid getting stuck in the frenzy by shuffling along the wall the long way around the lunchroom. It's a bit longer, but at least there's less risk of getting used as an improvised meat club. Hey, why don't I just go in through the courtyard? It's right next to the table. Damn it. Next time. Hey, is there a palm tree or something by the table now? Never seen one with a trunk that's green. I get around the last of the crowd and approach the table. Damien's here, chowing down on a sandwich stacked with various meats. And like yesterday, Olivia's already at the table. Hey Damien, you seen Liz? I thought she was joining us for lunch. Without a word, Damien points to the palm tree next to us. Oh crap, that's no tree. I look up to see Liz's head in the rafters, prodding at the vines on the ceiling. The ceiling was a lot lower in the computer lab, so I couldn't tell as easily, but that neck is long. Anyways. Hey Liz. Hey Inco, couldn't see you from up here till I heard you. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and get my food from the vending machines again. Making my way over to the vending machines, I do the same song and dance I did last time. A card swipe and a few button presses later earn me a couple of cans of soda, 2 bags of chips, and a few candy bars. It's like when the teacher asks you if you brought enough candy for everyone, only now it's true. I head back to our table, the bundle of foodstuff in my makeshift pouch, and distribute them. Olivia gets her share, but doesn't say anything. Ah, sweet. Ah, why thank you, Inco. Damien, if you'd be so kind. Already on it, Damien cracks open a can of soda just as Liz lowers her head next to him. She's wearing a novelty soda cap. That's cute. Oh, it's number 1! Ah, what was that dude's name? From SpongeBob. Smitty Werbin Jaegerman Jensen. He then speed swaps the old can with the new one, almost like he's swapping wheels on a Formula 1 racer. Thank you. No problemo. Liz's head cranes back up to the top of the ceiling to continue eating the foliage. So, Nico, how's your day been so far? It's been pretty decent, I'd say. I'm mostly looking forward to photography since Ben'll show me some good photo spots. Cool, cool. Damien just nods as he continues to munch on his sandwich. I think he zoned out about halfway through my sentence. Oh, and also, Liz helped me submit my contest entry. Awesome! Can always rely on Liz to help you out. Flattery will get you nowhere, Damien. Just saying the honest truth. Liz entered the contest too, right? Everyone must be trying to win the cash prize. The money's okay. Liz comes down again with a mouthful of leaves. Her hands hold up a tray with each segment filled with a different sauce. But the real prize is having your submission features in the sponsor's magazine cover, and in a featured article. How is she still articulate? Do you have any idea how great that looks on a resume? Heck, I could probably get a scholarship with that alone. Whoa, you really got all this planned out. What'd you submit? She takes a moment to swallow her salad, and then shares with a huge grin. I submitted my best digital art piece. Ooh, what is it? Here. The tray is set aside so she can bring out her phone to show Damien and me her entry. It looks to be a village townhouse piece, very rustic and classy. It looks pretty good. Yo, that's so cool! It looks so realistic. Thanks, it took me about a week to really blend some of the more fanciful elements into each other. I based it off my grandfather's home from the old country. This is amazing. You can't even tell that this whole thing's digital art at all. Damien grabs hold of Liz's phone and turns it towards Olivia. Hey, Olivia! She jumps up, having been suddenly made relevant to the conversation she was just spectating. What? I'm not giving these chips back, they're mine. Huh? I was just gonna show you Liz's entry. Olivia narrows her eyes and leans over to see the image on Liz's phone. She then looks up and gives Damien a quick nod before returning to eating her chips. Damien's smile falters a little at her minimal response, though he's back to his usual grin as Liz takes back her phone. Wow, Liz, I didn't know you were so into digital painting. That looks great. Do you plan on being an artist after graduating? Aw, thanks. Well, no, I don't plan on being an artist per se. The plan is to be an antiques dealer, specifically with art. What's that mean? It means she buys the splattered canvases everyone else just uses for money laundering. Ha, no, it'll be the real deal stuff. There's a real market out there for it. So I'm taking the AP business class and using the school's prestigious art program. That's actually why I picked this place out. There's a real elite selection of graduates from here. Oh, you're the school treasurer too, right? Sure am. I'm doing everything to make sure I'm ready for the real deal. I do love painting, though. It's just not an ends to a means. Maybe that's why I want to get into trading. I can get the right people the right art they need. That's very thoughtful, huh? I should start thinking of my future more. I wonder what Olivia thinks about this, if it even interests her. Damien is just exaggeratedly nodding his head up and down, and I don't know if he's agreeing with Liz or headbanging to some tune playing in his head. I look to the side to see Olivia staring down at the chips bag, looking pensive. I guess I'm not the only one that's a bit worried about our long-term plans after school, compared to Liz. But we got the whole year still. What about you, Damien? Don't really have a big goal set. The only reason I'm going here is because it's the closest school to our home. Damien, you know I keep telling you about planning ahead. I know, but I like keeping my options open. So what are you doing in school? I just picked out any classes that seemed interesting to me. Though I gotta say, home economics class is pretty fun. I get to make food in class and eat it, too. From learning skills in a class like that, you'd be a perfect husband. Yeah. Wait, what? What? Up she goes. But to get back to my point, that art contest, if I win and get that interview, it's an insane advantage. I'll say. By the by, Olivia, did you submit something for the art contest? Oh. She looks away, slightly deflated. No. Really? Oh, crap. I might have a chance, then. Hey, Liz, that sounds a certain way. Ah, sorry. I didn't mean it like that. Olivia rolls her eyes and merely goes back to munching on her chips. Mr. Latican said you were really into painting. And I really liked the portrait of me you made. Whoa, she what? Her suspicious leer is now replaced by a murderous glare. Yep, lunch is the perfect time to eat my feet. I haven't actually seen any of her real work, only something she'd done out of boredom. Olivia's eyes close as she inhales deeply, the air of neutrality returning to her once she opens them. She looks me up and down again as though something will be different this time. Can't. What's that mean? Besides, even if I could, they're gonna be looking for the best artists here, so you gotta show that to them with how good your art is. But I just don't want them to look at me and feel like they have to give me a reward out of pity. Damien's face is frozen mid-bite, his sandwich losing its meat integrity by the second as his eyes flick between Olivia and I. I can practically hear the blaring alarm in his head as his brain catches fire trying to connect the dots. I just want to be judged for my art and not... Olivia struggles to formulate the next few words and lets out a weary sigh. It would just feel undeserved. How? Yeah, how? Damien, shh. Has that ever happened before? Do people really do that? You weren't there for it. Some losers used to even tell me to take advantage of it. Why not? That was a bad move. Dude, seriously? Why, so I constantly get reminded of myself, so I can't separate myself from my work? So I can get complacent being worse, so I can eventually rely on it, so the playing field can be even? That's a lot all at once. I'm not even sure I got all of that, but I definitely touched a nerve I shouldn't have. No, sorry. Olivia brushes her hair down. Look, I don't want to get awards and praise I haven't earned. I'm seriously not that good. I really wouldn't win. She sighs and takes a long sip of cola. Can I see some of your work? No. Man, she really shouldn't put herself down like that. I get it. A lot of the students here are crazy good at art. Some are probably better now than I ever will be, and they're just starting. It's pretty scary to think about. I mean, like that landscape of the city near the principal's office. Landscape? Hold on, I took a shot of it. It's a bit tough getting my camera out now with all the books I needed for class in the way. I lay out the contents of my backpack, taking my treasured DSLR out at last. After finding the shot in question on the menus, I turn the display towards everyone else so they can see the glamour shot. A freshman made that painting. Just from looking at it, I can see why it won first place. I drew that. Oh. Her name is on it, isn't it? My brain finally makes the connection with the signature on the mural. That was you? Is it that much of a shocker to you? Quite a bit, yeah, it looks amazing. I mean, it's whatever. Had to have some dumb guide help me out, so it isn't like I'm the one who did it all. So when you say you can't enter, it's because you already won once? Yeah, basically. She looks away from us, eating her chips in silence. I've heard the expression of being one's worst critic, but I'd never expect Olivia to kick herself this hard. I'm mentally kicking myself thrice over just thinking that last part. What, something wrong, Liz? Did she bite her tongue or something? Why is she imitating one of those pitcher plants right now? Liz? What's with the look long neck? Just surprised to see you in better spirits is all. You're making it weird. Don't make it weird. Yeah, it's been ages, Olivia. To think a Randy like Inky here got you to open up like this in just 2 days. He gestures to me. What'd you do, man? The girl in question freezes, Damien's thoughtless comments having thrust her into self-awareness. And she just leaves. Olivia, wait! She's gone. Well, she did give a warning. Yeah... I was just excited she was making good progress. The rest of lunch we'd spent trying to talk about Liz's art process. Damien looked like he wanted to try and bring Olivia back into the conversation, but no one had any idea where she had gone. Still, a part of me thinks she wants to talk. So why doesn't she? Sadly, a question for another time, as Olivia's departure seems to signal the end of lunch. At least Liz and Damien wave goodbye, leaving me to clean up all the trash from the table, including everything I'd removed from my backpack. Darn it. Photography class comes and goes. Since we're partners, Latican gives Ben and I the green light to walk around the campus. Ben shows me around to see his prime photo spots and such, and as such, becomes my impromptu tour guide. It's actually pretty neat to see the parts of the school that I hadn't explored up until now. Places like the music hall and the recreational pool were the most interesting to see. Currently at the courtyard, Ben points out the views of the outer landscapes around the school. No wonder why Ben was eager to show me. These views are impeccable. But while he's explaining the image he has in his head, my mind still wanders back to Olivia. I wonder what I did to make her express herself so much. Inco? Inco. Huh? I was asking if you'd be available sometime during the weekend to take photos. Oh, I'm free on Saturday. Excellent, we can meet up back here. Sounds good. As we head back to class, I begin to think if there's something I can do in history class. Back in history class, Miss Procklin continues prattling on about... And after a final offensive that left the entire city of Triceroptis destroyed, the Chthonic Hegemony was defeated, bringing an end to their crimes against both Dino and humankind. With that, the Dino-Human War came to an end, and peace was finally declared after 10 years of strife. Of course, there was the matter of rebuilding and dousing all those fires still burning, as well as what to do with all the bodies, and... I should probably care more about Procklin's lecture, since history has extremely strong cultural connotations, but man, is it boring. Boring? Did you hear the same thing I just heard? Ahead of me, Olivia has returned to her default, sullen, and deflated gloom. She's not staring back at me, so she's probably over whatever that was. Or she still doesn't know I'm here. Boy, will that be entertaining to see. Assuming I don't end up with a mechanical pencil jammed through a lens. The other students are similarly bored, only occasionally marking down something whenever it sounds like it'll be on a review sheet at the end of the week. There is, of course, no more note passing today. Miss Prockling's effusion yesterday must still be on their minds. There won't be any more chances given, and even though she doesn't seem threatening on her own, the consequences would be dire. Especially if she can call Solly over like her own personal enforcer. There's simply no getting around it. This is just a period we'll all have to sit through. And there isn't even any solidarity to be had in our shared misery. It's simply the reality of high school history class. The only saving grace is that she isn't stalking around the room looking for us to do something wrong. Instead, we're being lectured at. My hand mechanically copies down whatever she's written on the board. And while I should also be paying attention to what Miss Prockling is saying, I'm more than certain that we'll be reading the exact same things from our very heavy textbook. So my eyes wander away from her and the board to scan over my peers, all equally as bored and feigning interest. Eventually, there's a bit of movement ahead of me. What's she up to now? Olivia folds a sheet of notebook paper back and forth discreetly, creating a deep crease. Then she licks her finger and runs it along the crease and gently pulls. The paper rips along the seam silently. Oh, is she really risking it? What's she even got to gain? It's just a note-passing game. Maybe she feels bad because she got caught yesterday? Oh boy. Olivia passes the note to her left. The student next to her raises an eyebrow, but surprisingly takes the note, and immediately passes it on without looking at it. One by one, my classmates pass the note along to the next. Nobody dares open the note and write something in. I surreptitiously keep track of the note in the corner of my eye as it makes its circuit around the room. Thankfully, Miss Prockling's eyes are focused on the board when I feel a tap on my shoulder. I reach for my ear as if to give it a scratch, and the folded page is pushed into my waiting fingers against my ear. As I feel an edge grind against my earlobe, I chew my lip to keep the hiss of pain contained. Probably unintentional, but paper cut still stings bad, especially on such a fleshy part. My fingers toy with the bundle of paper now at my desk. No one else had bothered with it. I wouldn't exactly call it an empty canvas, but there could be potential here. There's a crumpling noise beneath my fingertips. Must have unfolded it while I was thinking it. Looking at the sole doodle on the sheet, I see a pretty simple rat drawing with a very realistic hand next to it giving it a thumbs up. There's plenty of space this time. And Miss Prockling is preoccupied at the front. I doubt she'd even notice. The temptation is there, making my fingers itch at finally getting a real chance to do something fun in this sleep-inducing class. In fact, I have the perfect idea in mind that'd catch Olivia's attention. If that doesn't ruin everything, that is. She's not uncompassionate, but Miss Prockling has a lot less tolerance for horseplay in her class. We probably wouldn't get another chance. And going by Coach Solly's one-chance policy and how those guys aren't even considering playing along, I bet it really wouldn't be pretty. Kinda makes me concerned for Olivia. I could just hold on to the note and give it back after class. Heck, Olivia would never even know. I don't think she even knows I'm in this class. Draw the Gator girl on a half-pipe. Hold on to the sheet till after class. Draw her on a half-pipe. What's life without a bit of risk? I wait for Mrs. Prockling to start a new tangent to make sure that I have enough time. She just said something about the single continent movement, time to move. This is going to be basically a stick figure, but it's just a doodle. If only you could doodle a photograph. I'm not sure what I mean by that. I also don't know how to draw a wheelchair. In the end, it looks more like an abstract depiction of a bow-legged T-Rex than what I wanted. Oops, it'll have to do. I check over it one last time, as if I had the conceptualization to improve it. Ah well. I pass the note forwards, careful not to notify the teacher. Olivia takes the note over her shoulder, once more, not checking it. She seems to deflate a bit upon opening the note, probably because of all the blank space. Doesn't look like she recognizes whatever I did either. Maybe I should talk about it with her after class? I don't know, it seems like an okay thing to do. She just passed the note again. What? Once more, the process of students taking the note and passing it along without looking at it, although this time it's a little more collectively annoyed. It probably won't go around again. Why the heck would Olivia send the note around again? Nobody's gonna change their mind and draw something now. Is it desperation? Thoughtlessness? Whatever it is, the note's coming my way again. Once I take it, I confirm that yes, once again nobody else wrote anything. However, there is a new doodle of a rat with a flamethrower from Olivia. Cute. Alright, I guess this time I'll draw... How about adding myself to the sketch of the half-pipe? This time I just depict myself as a stick figure. No use trying to go outside of my skill level for a note-passing game. It's simple enough to do. I even include my sunglasses. Yeah, I'm liking this. Maybe I should also make sure Miss Prockling isn't looking my way. Yeah, she's not right now. I'm in luck. Alright, time to pass this on. I pass the note forward once more. Olivia pinches the note between two fingers, still not looking back. I keep saying that, but I guess it's not weird. Why would you look back in that situation? She checks the note and looks a bit down again. She glances up to the corner I'd drawn in. I nearly fall out of my seat from the sudden loud noise. There's a moment of unwavering silence before a voice speaks up. Miss Halford. The girl in question shrinks in her seat in embarrassment. Sorry, Mrs. Prockling. I saw a spider. Miss Prockling simply sighs, muttering to herself, and turning her attention back to writing more notes on the board. She turns her head back slowly, just enough to be able to make eye contact with me. While she eyes me with judging contempt and curiosity, I see her hands tenderly massaging the tip of her tail. Looking at the floor, I think she managed to chip the linoleum. As soon as Prockling turns around to continue teaching, Olivia scribbles something down. She turns to look at me once more, hesitating, then she flicks the note in my direction. It completely misses me. I try to catch it mid-air, but I end up slamming my face into my desk to get it. Mr. Nito, what was that noise? I palmed the note in my sleeve. I palmed the note into my sleeve and strained to keep my injured eye open. The teacher probably meant the foot stomping. I found that spider, Mrs. Prockling. The teacher grimaces. That better be cleaned up by the end of class then, Mr. Nito. Yes, ma'am. I breathe a sigh of relief as my excuse weathers Miss Prockling's stare. She turns a few pages in a textbook lying on her desk, instructing the class to do the same as she searches for something. She's distracted. I can finally see what Olivia drew. There's now a surprisingly detailed dodgeball whizzing towards my stick figure's head. I want to be upset, but I find myself admiring her motion lines. Seriously, she should be an animator. I mull over what to add, and settle on giving the large rat sunglasses as well. A few seconds later, he looks twice as cool as before. I look up to Olivia, pondering how to get it back to her when a sinister idea comes to mind. Her hood hangs open as it rests on her back. It's a tough shot, but... Bingo. Olivia scratches at the back of her neck and finds the note. She looks back with squinted eyes, judging my intent and scanning me for foul play. She mouths something at me. A question, I think, but I'm... She mouths something at me. A question, I think, but I'm not the most apt lip reader. Especially when said lips are thrice as long as a human's. Still, she unfolds the page, and seconds later, she's already added a new sketch and folded it up. The note lands neatly on my desk this time, and I inspect the latest edition. More rats doing decidedly non-rat activities. I wonder what she'd think of a cat this time. We continue passing the sheet back and forth, adding new sketches and adding to others. My fingers are starting to tire when Miss Prockling addresses Olivia. Alright, Miss Halford, you may leave now. Everyone else, you may take the last 5 minutes to start on your homework. Olivia takes her time to pack away her supplies, occasionally glancing my way. Gone is the paranoia, it's now become just plain confusion. As if I wouldn't play the doodle game thing with her. Even as she wheels out of the room, I notice her eyes still on me. I give her a wave goodbye, and she seems shocked by that, turning her head and finally passing through the doorway. Right then, homework. Ah, crap. It only now occurs to me that there's a pretty good reason that the teacher doesn't want us slacking off during class. For the last 5 minutes, I try to speed read the second chapter in its entirety. Failing to get any good information to use for today's homework, I resolve to just check online for a lecture that's not as boring. Maybe one with some good animation, even. When the rest of us are finally excused, I realize that I've still got the page full of doodles. Considering all the stuff on it, it'd feel like a waste to just toss it away. I decide to keep it, slipping it into one of my binder's extra plastic sleeves. With everything safely packed away, I shoulder my backpack and exit the room. Man, now I get why Olivia gets to leave some classes early. The halls are so packed and chaotic once class ends, I always end up being pushed around by rowdy students heading towards their next class. Once school ends, it's even worse. When I saw it yesterday, it was something else. The word riptide comes to mind. I ended up just waiting around a few minutes for the flow to die down. It's looking like that's just going to be my routine now. I pass by a few more art displays on my way to the stairs back down to the first floor. This isn't the art wing, but there's still a bunch of displays up. Maybe there simply isn't enough space? Something presses into my chest and lurches me to a stop. It's Olivia holding an arm out to stop me. She's still staring up at me, though less suspiciously. Her jaw's open, but no sound comes out. She realizes her hand is still out, and it retracts awkwardly, indecisively darting between her hoodie pocket and her armrest. Is she expecting something? Oh, the note maybe? Hey, You could have told me. Huh? That you were in Miss Prockling's class too. You could have mentioned that. Sorry, I guess I was sort of aiming for a bit of a dramatic reveal there. She brushes her hair aside. Well, whatever. Later, I guess. Why'd you stop me out here? She stops her chair mid-turn, with gray eyes contemplating the dirty floor. I don't really get you. Olivia's eyes turn back to me, and now I can see the nervousness in her pupils. Why do you care? Why indeed? Well, I guess the main reason is... I want to be friends. With me, though? Sure. Those tiny moments in which I saw the Gator girl hyper-animate come to mind, and I can't help but smile. Those small shows of just genuine feelings. I think Mr... Oh, I've been pronouncing this dude's name wrong. That's not a lowercase L, that's a capital I. I don't know why I thought it was an L. Especially because the main character also has a name that starts with a capital I. I think Mr. Iadakan was right, honestly. Olivia hums in disagreement, finally turning away. Ah, crap. Maybe that was too forward of me? I swing my backpack around so I can reach inside it. I still have that note. Note? What, with the doodles from class right now? Why? I just figured you'd want it. It was fun filling it out and all. Just as I'm about to pull out my binder, the Gator girl looks back at me and shakes her head. It's just doodles. You can throw it out. Keep it. If it's so important. For the briefest second, I swore I saw her mouth form a tiny smile. But now she's back to looking neutrally at... Huh, didn't notice the school had elevators. Why don't more people use it? She flashes a key from her pocket. So it's part of her accommodations, makes sense. By now the hallway has cleared up a bit. The elevator arrives and Olivia rolls in. She moves her arm to push the button and jams the key in some slot. What's the look for? You coming? Oh. I slide in beside Olivia just before the door closes. The elevator began to shake, vibrating with motion. It's probably safe to catch your foot in and just reopen, but man, this thing is ancient. There's an inspection certificate lazily plastered above the door from this side. It's covered in coffee stains and other signs of age. Is this thing really safe? Olivia shrugs. What's the worst that happened? Our legs break? She eyes me with a smirk. This may have been a mistake. Ka-chunk. My heart drops as the space around me seems to drop for a split second. The sound of the worn-out elevator mechanics fills the cramped space. How slow is this thing? I look over to Olivia. She uses this thing daily. Surely it normally runs smoother. Her mouth hangs slightly open in an amused grin, watching my sudden onset claustrophobia. Relax, dude. This is normal. Alright, this is normal. This thing jostling around like it's going to drop us at any second is completely normal. When we reach the bottom, the doors clunk open and I practically fall out. Olivia casually rolls from behind. Somehow I sense it's with a degree of superiority. Anyway, see ya later. Oh, yeah, see ya. Olivia rounds a corner and I'm left on my lonesome. My senses return to me and I start making my way to the metro station. As I make the journey home, it strikes me how much progress I've made with Olivia. It's definitely still in its awkward phase, but I can see that she's opening up little by little, and it's starting to become amusing seeing her get confused by my friendly gestures. All in all, I got a pretty good feeling about this. Liz and Ben sure were overreacting, though. I'll be sure to tell them all about it. A week into September has come and gone. I'm finally feeling acclimated to St. Hammond. Things have been going pretty smooth lately, if I do say so myself. Over the past week or so, I've been getting more and more used to my new friends, learning new quirks of them daily over lunch and in our classes. Like Olivia's penchant for tail whips.